From the New York Times, Epstein documents naming prominent figures expected to be released soon. The documents related to a lawsuit involving Ghislaine Maxwell, an associate of the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, are anticipated to include names previously redacted. Some people actually say that she may have been the mastermind, but we don't know. We don't know. Epstein appears to be, by all accounts, the mastermind, but she was more than just an associate. She was basically his second in command. They're going to mention court documents are set to be released. This we know. We've been waiting a lot for it, but there's speculation as to who's going to be on that list. Now, multiple news reports have said former President Bill Clinton will be among those names. In fact, conservative commentators have jumped on. Now, hold on there a minute. What does that mean? Conservative commentators jumped on this because it was ABC and a bunch of other prominent mainstream outlets that reported it. So wouldn't you first say that several corporate news outlets jumped on news that Bill Clinton may be among those named? And then critics of Bill Clinton went, wow, look at that. I love it, New York Times. Never stop being you. They say, although there's no indication that will be in connection with allegations of wrongdoing. And Ms. Giuffre has not accused Clinton of any misconduct. His office said in 2019 that he had flown in Epstein's private plane, but had no knowledge of Epstein's crimes. And a spokesman pointed to that statement on Tuesday. I'm going to go ahead and say, I don't believe you. The statements we've gotten from victims that are confirmed to be victims are horrifying. And I don't believe, even they say that we may learn the names of their housekeepers. I'm like, yeah, lock them up. Housekeepers get locked up too. If you were a maid for Epstein while he was bringing in young girls so that powerful elites could fly to a private island to rape them, and you were cleaning up the mess, you are an accomplice who aided and abetted human traffickers and child exploitation. Yeah, you get locked up too. So if you're going to tell me that Bill Clinton was flying on this plane and had no idea what was going on, oh, come on. Of all of the people they could try to claim there's no evidence of wrongdoing, if they said Bill Gates, like Bill Gates flew on his plane but had no evidence of any wrongdoing, we'd all roll our eyes and be like, okay, maybe, but I doubt it. With Bill Clinton, it's like, come on, that guy? We all know what that guy's all about. You think he doesn't know what's going on? I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that he was facilitating it. We'll see. Who else? What do you guys think?
I think it's weird, first of all, when they say the right wing part, because right wing for the corporate press has become a synonym for conspiratorial.
No. It says conservative.
Oh, so it's conservative. So conservative has become a synonym for conspiratorial, because they're trying to give you that slant because they don't want people to believe who might be on the list or not. But like you're saying with the maids and stuff, I just think about those reports that came out years ago about those dental chairs or like torture type chairs that were in these apartments of his in like weird places and weird rooms, and who's cleaning up this place, who's not reporting all this weird activity of these children. So I'm looking forward to it coming out, but I'm also not going to be surprised when people look at it and spin it to support whatever narrative they want to sell. So they see Trump, they're going to go with the Trump angle. You see Clinton, they're going to go with the Clinton angle, and it's going to become like this.
I bet Trump's on it.
Everyone's going to be on it.
Right.
Every name will be attached.
But I bet Trump's in it, and the media is going to go nuts and be like, Trump listed in Epstein documents.
Anyone that's, from the right that is on the list is going to be the focus from the mainstream media if they talk about it. I do think the mainstream media wants this to, quiet down and go away. Mm-hmm. Overall, I think it's bad for the establishment because everyone knows that Jeffrey Epstein was involved with a lot of people. Look, the guy was a master networker. Mm-hmm. There's rumors about his connections to intelligence agencies. The likelihood of him using the island to get dirt on people that are in positions of power, offering them things that are illegal, and then getting, having video or having information about it or whatever, and using that to not just finance his own lifestyle, but also to use that to influence essentially, movers and shakers in world politics and big business. There's not an argument. There's not an argument about whether or not that is what is going on. It's generally a consensus. Ghislaine, I forget. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Ghislaine.
Why do we care to pronounce her name right? When I call her Ghislaine, people
it's like worry about her pronouns. You're right. I just call her Ghislaine from now on.
I try to pronounce just because I try to pronounce everything right. But whatever. Yeah, G woman is in jail for.
That's it now.
She's a government issue for facilitating the trafficking of human beings
to no one.
Right. So these things have happened. no matter how the media decides it wants to cast this or what narrative they want to go with.
Yeah.
These things are actually true, actually have happened, and I think that the public might be numb to it.
I just gotta say this because it's like it's been the holiday. We've been off for a couple weeks, and I haven't had the opportunity to say civil war on air for a little while. It's like just got to get that out. You know that meme where the guy's like sweating his veins popping. That's what it's like. It's like so. But no, I just want to point out because I love doing that time travel test where I'm like, imagine you went back in time X amount of years and then explained how X is happening, Y is happening now. I just want to also point out that imagine if you went back to 2012. And got up on stage in front of a whole bunch of people. It's Super Bowl, and you went on stage and said, powerful global elites are involved in child trafficking with multi-billionaires, with former presidents and politicians flying on private islands. They'd be like, get this crackpot out of here. Conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm. There are still a lot of people that will say that exact thing and believe
but that's
what they're
fine
saying.
Because they're the crackpots now.
Fair.
I'm saying back then when Alex Jones is banging on the table and be like, they got planes and they're flying these kids to this island. They were like, this guy's lost his mind. Mm-hmm. He's insane. Now, I don't know if it's Civil War related or whatever. Just think about how far we've come to where you get in an Uber and you'll be like, oh, did you hear that global, powerful, political elite sex trafficking ring's about to have names released? The Uber driver's going to be like, oh yeah, I heard that. Uh-huh. Yeah. It's just a ubiquitous fact.
Yo, go back to 2012 and tell people that sometime soon after Epstein will happen, the world will shut down. Global elites will literally destroy the world.
The world off.
Boom. And then like you're saying with Epstein talking about that, and it's kind of nonchalant now. Anywhere I go in the world when I'm getting in a car, I like to talk about how that person experienced COVID and lockdowns. We all have a shared traumatic fear ritual experience.
That is wild. Crazy.
Wait.
When you put it like that, it is wild.
When was the Epstein stuff exposed? In 2019?
Exposed, or when did he
well, no, the exposure stuff happened like Alex Jones was talking about this 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But when was it actually that he was getting arrested? What year was that?
I don't know.
19, right? Was it 19?
Yeah.
So
19 and then he
that's when the cameras shut off, the guards fell asleep.
That was 2020, yeah.
It's just come on.
Yeah.
Epstein
and then the world shut down.
And they're just like, yo, hold on. Turn everything off. We cannot let this happen.
At the time of him being in jail, I was reporting on a story about a guy who went to the jail for a crazy drug problem. He was a former cop. He went to prison. I'm writing about it, and he turns out to be the guy who was in the prison cell with Epstein, who beat him up. I never found a place at that time when I was freelancing to publish a story, but I kept going around being like, this is insane. Not only is that whole story insane with the guy, former cop, like taking 4 immigrants' lives and burying them on a pig farm in New York. Then he got a cell phone in his jail cell. No one knows how he got it. Then he beat up Epstein. Then Epstein was put in that room in a cell where he hung himself.
No. Wasn't it reportedly that it was reported that his roommate beat him up? Mm-hmm. But then it was changed, the reporting that the roommate said, no, he hurt himself. He tried to kill himself.
He said, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Go look up that guy. I forget his name right now. He's jacked dude.
Come on, I just love it. It's like they put Epstein in a cell with this guy who's super ripped, and then Epstein makes an attempt. Didn't Epstein say something like, no, I didn't? I mean, it's been a while.
I know, I forget all those, but the guy was a former cop who was a murderer.
I just love how wild it is that literally no one, I shouldn't say, okay, figuratively no one believes that Epstein took his own life. But there are these corporate press journals who are like, he certainly did. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It's like
Wikipedia says he did.
There's a video diagram, someone made a video CGI of how they claim he would have done it. And I saw this clip and I'm like, it is the stupidest thing I have ever seen because the room's so small. Epstein is what's the yoga pose called where you you sit with your legs under you and then lay all the way back down. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't
know why I'm deferring to Serge.
So you're you sit on your feet.
Yeah.
You
bend to the knees and you're sitting on your
and then you lay all the way back.
Yeah, your thighs are on your calves.
Yeah. So right. And so your legs are folded and you're laying back. And supposedly what Epstein did was he laid on the bed that way because the ceiling wasn't high enough and then lurched forward with his legs bent to jump off the bed because there was no actual way to hang himself.
And they supposedly only had certain type of easily tearaway sheets. Like that, they said he hung
wasn't he wearing
with.
a smock or something?
Yeah,
come on, dude. The cameras break, the guards fall asleep. And we're just like, dude, I'm sorry. It'd be really funny if Epstein's like in prison. He's like, how can I make this the least believable thing ever? And like his plan, and then the guards are like, damn it, he got us. He waited till they were sleeping. He broke the cameras.
Look, I mean, realistically, like, even if, like, whether you believe he killed himself or not, kind of doesn't matter, because the reason that he killed himself is because what was going to happen.
Right.
So, like, or the reason he's dead, whether he killed himself or whether he was killed by the Clintons, it's not like
The Clintons.
well, I mean, come on, everybody knows it. Everyone thinks it's Hillary. But it doesn't. But it's not like people in positions of power in governments are strangers to ordering the killing of human beings.
Right.
If you're the president and you order a strike, you'll carry it out. That is mafioso crap. It's just that it's polished up and made acceptable.
Yep.
If you go to someone and say, did you know that Barack Obama secretly ordered the killing of Americans?
Yeah.
Like, they'd be like, shut up, wait a minute. And you pull up on the New York Times. Here you go. Read about it. It's not a conspiracy. This is in the New York Times. I mean, maybe the New York Times is lying. I don't trust them.
I think the same thing that you were saying earlier. When Phil was talking earlier, I was thinking it's amazing that now we're 2024 finally, but the people hear things like Epstein and they know, there's the people running things, Bill Clinton and Bill Gates, these people that there are probably tapes of them doing horrible, horrible things. They're compromised. They're blackmailed. The people in power are these sick people, and that's mainstream now. The Alex Jones was right jar is very full, and everybody recognizes it. So we're an amazing time to be alive. The fact that this is popular consciousness now, and we can move things in a very different direction than has gone on for decades.
I'm really excited for throwing money into the Alex Jones was right jar as it pertains to fifth dimensional creatures and the chimeras and the cell phone towers and all that stuff. When that's proven true, I'm going to be like, man, I'm just going to empty my wall and just shuffle it all in there. You know, Alex goes on the Joe Rogan show and he's like, they got multidimensional beings that are,
we know the chimeras are out there. We know they've definitely made odd creatures in labs.
Yeah, but like
and put weird things on aborted fetuses in that was it Philly or Pittsburgh?
They definitely do weird stuff. And I think the issue with Alex is that he does get a lot right. But I think he'll see a story about like chimeras, and then he takes like this one small story and then dives so far into it and stretches it, to something bigger than it really is.
I also know when you talk to
But
Alex,
he's right about a lot.
Sometimes it's like there's just so much information that's coming out at once. You got to like narrow it down and then follow that path, because there's a lot, and a lot of those chimeras. You can look up the things that they were making out of the fetuses.
They're weird stuff.
Disturbing.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.